Show and Tell After Dark. I'm here with my co-host.
Most generous.
And your baby daddy's favorite host, Nora.
And our special guests. Can I get you guys to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm DJ Sham.
Hi, I'm Brandie Blaze.
We're going to do it for the whole interview. No.
Topsy-turvy. Okay, I love it.
I was like, oh, I could play you.
Oh, wow, we're getting started. You see, you see the dysfunction already? It's been 5 seconds.
I was like, are we going with this? Because we can.
I guess we are.
So should I address you as DJ Sham?
No. Okay. She does do a good impression of me.
I really do.
She does.
I want to see it though.
Can I see that impression?
Let me see. What should I do?
Oh, no, I'm not helping you. You said it.
Just pretend to rap.
I said it.
Yeah, spit a verse.
Oh, a verse?
Yeah, spit
Let's
a verse.
see.
A Brandie Blaze verse.
And you were a DJ? That's sad.
Listen. We might joke with each other. No.
Let's see, look. I got to get spot. Do you know what to do with a boss like me? I forgot the hand.
I saw you get into the zone too, like
Shit.
the Blaze zone.
Blaze zone.
Everyone
Brandie Blaze in this bitch.
Everyone that does an impression of me always does the like I feel like people feel like that's the signal to know that they're imitating me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Could I ask you, like, how do you guys know each other?
I don't.
Wow. Well, clearly this is gonna be a therapy session. No.
Let's go.
Sham and I met. It's been 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. We met at the Haley House.
The legendary Haley
House. The legendary Haley House. Oompa was doing the rap slam then.
Shout out Oompa.
No, I was really in the exact right place at the exact right time because I met Oompa, Sham, Amanda Shea.
Shout
out to Amanda.
Leek Meraki, Anson Raps. Like, I met all those people literally the same night for the first time. Pretty much. So
I just remember Brandie.
I said.
And I loved White Sham from the beginning. And you know, she's always been the community DJ. She was DJing around and things like that. But I knew that I needed a DJ. And I got really emotional after a Oompa show. And I asked her to be my DJ. And she was like, yeah. And I thought she was going to be like, crazy woman, get the hell away from me. Like, what are you saying? No. She said yes. And we really just like instantly like connected as friends, but also like artist and DJ too. I feel like that's like such classic like hip hop to have that combination. And for me, it's really important because of the vibe that we have together. So our first rehearsal together, we were talking about kind of like the type of DJ, like what am I looking for? And we both said the Migos DJ.
DJ Darrell.
Yes, like that was like the vibe that I wanted, and that was the vibe that she wanted to get as a DJ. So it was just like instant. And I think our second show together was like a Pride show at the Sinclair that was sold out. And then it's just been up since then. It's been like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
That sounds super intimate too. Like, will you be my DJ?
Yeah. I was really in my feelings. It was embarrassing. Like,
You don't need to be embarrassed. I was really eyeing Brandie Blaze, so I'm just like, what the fuck, I'm ready.
Yo, like y'all are like Kobe and Shaq, to be honest. Like
damn.
just the way like y'all team up, your chemistry, like it's just like synchronization everywhere, no matter where y'all go. So like, how do you guys like keep on like, you know, sharpening your irons? Like if you have like I don't know, whether it's like a show outside of Boston or within Boston, like how do y'all prepare?
oh, did you want to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, do y'all want the TT? No.
No, she said we don't want them just like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so people know this because people have picked up that I call her Joseph because she's Joe Jackson. And I'm Michael. I also have the same birthday as Michael Jackson. So
Ooh,
it makes
Virgos
the
in the
joke,
house.
right?
Hey.
Big
I don't
Virgos.
beat them or abuse them. That's I'm just.
That's right. No, she doesn't.
Do y'all know who Joe Jackson is? Y'all know who Joe Jackson is? Yeah. Oh, okay. I was like,
I don't know who Joe Jackson is.
How you know? You don't?
No.
It's Michael Jackson,
Jackson's-
Janet Jackson, Tito Jackson's dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yes.
Thank you.
So no, we always had the joke that
But
Sham is.
look at that, they're mega.
So we always had the joke that Sham is Joseph, she's Joe Jackson, and Amanda Shea is Catherine because she's my enabler.
Yeah.
She's definitely the enabler. I am the superstar that is just completely reckless and out of control and hard to manage. And then Joseph just keeps me in line and it's like, we're gonna do it again, Michael. No.
Holy hell.
No. But Sham definitely keeps me together for real. Like, there was a show that we did.
Clearly I can't keep this dog together, so
You keep the show together though. Nah, I'm gonna give you your flowers. Sham really does, and I think Sham has gotten to know me so well. We did a show together. I think it was like North Shore, and I had been having issues with my voice, and Sham knew. But when we were on stage, my voice started to kind of give out a little bit. So I was starting to get nervous, and we had like a song in the set that was really intense, and it was gonna take a lot. And Sham skipped the song because she could hear it in my voice. And like looking back at videos, I was like, yo, that's crazy how much Sham knows me, because anyone watching that set, I don't think that anyone would have picked up that my voice was starting to give out, but Sham picked up on it. And that's the type of things that she does. Like, she always makes sure that I'm good. We're two, black women in rap. So, sometimes we have to deal with some not so pleasant things. Sham, hold it down. Like, I literally just posted a picture on Instagram, and she's in the picture. She looked like the bodyguard because for real, she doesn't play about me. Like,
I really was grilling somebody at that. I really was.
That's what, like, most probably knows exactly what picture this is.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Because you were there.
Once I start walking up, I'm like, yeah, we look at.
Oh man,
It's over.
oh my gosh, I don't even remember the Deli Cafe days. That was the first time I met you and Amanda and everybody. And the first time I seen you perform, like, I was like, my breath was like taken. Okay, and like I was just hearing like your influences to like your your intense energy, like just the way like you crowd control is, and it just like makes me feel like, yeah, like that's somebody who's keeping the culture in check. That's somebody who's keeping the culture alive. You know what I mean? So like, I was gonna say, like, what are some of the people or some of the things that inspire you to keep on, passing that torch down?
I've been doing this a long time. I just realized like how long it's been. My first show was 10 years ago in August as Brandie Blaze. My first show as Brandie Blaze is 10 years ago. And in that time, I have seen a lot. And I've seen a lot of people, seem like they were going to pop and then maybe it didn't happen. Like, I've seen like a lot of things. But one thing that I'm really proud of being a part of the generation that I am is that we have always been willing to extend that hand. And I definitely had, some of the female rap OGs from here definitely have looked out for me and definitely have opened doors for me and paved the way for me. And I always made sure that, whenever I see them, I give them their flowers and I show them that love because it's really genuine. Like, but now it's like we have the younger girls coming up and it's like, I just hope that they know that I'm here for them too. And I root for them. I love them. I make sure, when I see the girls out, it's hugs and love. And, it kind of bugs me out a little bit when sometimes people are like, oh my God, Brandie, like, I look up to you. Like, now I'm starting to get the OG speech that I gave to the OGs. So now it's like, shit, we've been doing this for a minute, right? Because now I'm starting to get the OGs speech. Like, you open the doors, you pay way. But it makes me feel good because I'm like, no matter what happens with my career, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be like a year from now. But I feel really happy about the fact that I feel that I solidified my spot in Boston rap. I don't think that people will be able to talk about Boston rap without talking about me. And
No, they
in the
have
class
to.
of female rappers that I
have to.
came up with, it's all of us, not just me, but it's all of us together. I'm proud to be a part of that, but I'm also proud to be a part of a generation that doesn't slam the door behind us when we get opportunities. If anybody needs anything, I always tell people, yo, hit me up, let me know, like, I'm down. Like, if you see me doing something, you want that resource, hit me up. All the girls are like that. And that's what I'm most proud of, is that we're able to do that. And if I contributed to that in a little bit of way, then I'm satisfied with how my career went.
I know last time that you were here, you shouted out Dutch for being one of those people that like that held you down, like one of the OGs. And then who are like, are there any specific like of the new generation that you would like to like kind of like you see or that you've been kind of vibing with that you want to kind of shout out a little bit?
I know you went
Absolutely.
to that show with Key.
Yes, I love Key.
Oh, shout out to Key.
So that's obviously a no-brainer. Like, she's incredible. And just talking to her, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
she really
she's super
is.
nice.
Just so nice. I love Shay Bands.
Shout out to Shay.
We've been lucky enough to do a show together, and just another girl that's just like dumb talented but so sweet, so nice. Red Shades is like my class, my generation. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I would
No,
consider
say
me and
less,
Red.
say less.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Red is like same generation. I would consider that.
Okay.
Even though Red is I consider Red one of my OGs, but I would say we're probably closer to the same generation. But yeah, like Key,
30,000 years.
Yeah, listen, nah, Red been doing this for a minute. If I said 10 years, Red's been doing it longer than that. But nah, Red is also dope because she does everything. Like, she do the production. She went to like college for that. Like, so Red is just a whole. She's just a beast. But for the young ones, like I said, Key, Shape Bands, Sig Blanco. I don't think that I've met Yaya Gabbana. I'm sorry if I have, but I love her music. I got put on and fuck with her vibe heavy. I saw Allure from last night, is incredible. Another black artist, goes to Harvard, so go ahead.
I had no idea.
We saw her perform last night, and she's like incredible.
What's her name?
Like,
Allure?
Yes. Adore her. I could literally name girls for probably like 10 minutes because I met so many, and I feel bad because I wish I could name them for 10 minutes because I always feel bad because I'm like, oh no, I'm leaving people out, and I know I am, but people know my heart, and I'm just a real honest person. So if I told you that I fuck with your music and I think like, yo, you got something and you doing it, I genuinely meant that from my heart. If I didn't say nothing,
You got some work to do, honey.
See? And this is the one that was named after me when they were born. So you see how they did that bark, like, period. That's my child.
So what's a message that you want to give these new upcoming rappers, these young girls that really you got a lot of love for?
I think the first and foremost, most important thing is just to be yourself and make the music that you want to make. And that could be any and everything. There's just so many things that you could talk about. There's so many things you could do. There's so many things that you can be. But as long as you're being true to yourself, that is the most important thing. You can't go wrong with that. There's definitely been a lot of times where I've been told that this wasn't going to work. Whether that's, people not seeing it for me because I'm a big girl or black girl, whatever. I'm just who I am, and I know that that's why people rock with me. It's because I'm just myself. I don't know how to be anything else. So you never have to worry about trying to create a persona, or you don't have to do that. There's so much space for everyone. You could do anything. If you're a more emotional person, make that music. If you're like me and you're making music to stay out of prison, do that. And be as aggressive as you want. I know. She'll be like, if you don't stop saying that, but it's true.
It is true.
But yeah, just be yourself and make the music that you want to make, and just know that it's really like a sisterhood out here, and I'm always here. See, Blazy trying to like be like, no, I said what I said. Yeah, see, I'm a weekend dad, so I got the dog got named after me, and then I did nothing to raise them before they got adopted.
Oh my God.
I just popped in and was like, "Hi, I'm your dad."
That's how it is.
At least I'm honest.
I love that. No, I love that trait because sometimes like people are not honest because they're not comfortable with their skin, and like how long did it take for you to really be comfortable in your skin?
I don't know if I still am. I think it's still a journey. It's still a progress. Do I feel better than I did as a kid? Do I feel better than I did 10 years ago? Absolutely. Do I feel better than I did 5 years ago? Do I feel better than I did 18 months ago? Absolutely, I do. But it's still a work in progress. Like, I feel like I've grown a lot, especially in the past probably 4 years. I went through a lot and a lot of upheaval and change and a lot of things that weren't so great. And I feel like that's the story for most people because during the past...
Oh, she knows.
Listen, no. Over the past 4 years, COVID happened during that time. And that was really traumatic and hard for a lot of people. People lost people, being separated from people, having your career and your life affected was a lot. So I still just try to work on myself. And my favorite song right now is Grateful by Clark D.
Oh, shout out Clark D.
And I love Gee so much. But
I love Gee too.
I listen to that song probably every morning when I'm driving to work because I feel like it puts me in the space that I need to be in. Like, things are not perfect. It's not exactly what I want, but I know I'm on the road, and I know that I am in a position that a lot of people would, probably knock their own mom in the head to be in. I'm very, very blessed. So, and that's not bragging. That's just like, I went through a lot of shit to be able to get some good. You know what I'm saying? Life is the ups and downs, and that's why I love that song so much because I feel like it just kind of represents that. Like, I need to be grateful for what I have because what I have in the life that I have right now is a blessing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense because sometimes you can't understand that feeling of gratefulness if you haven't went through just the trials and tribulations or just like the traumas and all these dark elements of life. You'll never understand it. That's why we had this conversation before where like when you make music, like, are you making music because you're happy or whatnot? And nobody can ever and I forgot who it was. I think it was Gio. Gio was basically saying like, I don't know anybody who makes music because they're happy. Like, there has to be something that stems from that, like whether it's, like relationships. Some people make music, for their children. Some people make music for their spouse. Some people make music because they've been through some like things that are really hard to even like talk about in a therapy session. And some people, see music as their therapy. So I wanted to ask, like, what is one of the songs that you have made that you see as like therapy?
Oh my goodness. So I would say that there's probably 2 off the top of my head that I would be like, this was absolutely. So it would definitely be Fraud on Late Bloomer, which was a very, very hard song for me to write. It was a hard song to record. I've only performed it 3 times. And I think the last time I performed it was the first time I ever performed it or heard it and didn't cry. It was just like so emotional. And the things that I talked about on that song were so recent that it was just like a lot. Like, I almost cut that song, to be honest, from Late Bloomer because I felt like it didn't fit and I felt like it was too heavy for the type of album that it was. But thankfully, thanks to Y-Sham and thanks to Minashe, like they were like on my back and was like, no, the song has to stay. The song has to stay. And I'm proud that it did. Yeah. But I don't know how I would feel about it now that it's been, 3 years later. I don't know how I would feel about performing it, but maybe I will again one day. But there's that. And then on the new album, Broken Rainbows, I would say The Things That You Say, which is specifically about verbal abuse And the hook is like, basically, you think because you don't hit me that it's okay. And that's something that I was dealing with. I wrote that song in 2020 or 2021. I can't quite remember. But I know that I started performing it around very shortly after I wrote it. And the reaction that I got from it was very, very intense. Like, people would like come up to me and like crying. Like, I felt that song and it impacted me. Like, that's something that I went through. And, you know, obviously I have been through physical abuse as well, and it's horrible, but we don't talk enough about how emotional abuse really like does something to your psyche, to your brain, to your self-confidence, to who you are as a person, because those words stick with you for so long and they're so hurtful. And especially when you love someone and you're vulnerable enough that they know what will hurt you. And they go exactly for that. Like, that's really insidious. Like, there's something like really like heavy and hard about that. So I do say that I think that the things that you say is the best song I've ever written, hands down. You know, it's not about the bars. It's about what I said and the emotion in it. So is it the hardest bars I ever wrote? No. But is it the best song I've ever written? Yes.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Could we get into that a little bit if it's not too deep? Like, Fraud, for people who don't know about that song and who are going to go listen to it now because you're bringing it up, could you give us some more background information about what that song is about, what it means?
And the trigger warnings.
Sure. Yes. Trigger warnings. So that song deals specifically with sexual assault. And that is something that had happened to me the summer before Late Bloomer came out. And I wrote the song that summer. And it was one thing that I talked about specifically. And I talked specifically about how I felt at that time that if I said something, then it would be a backlash on me in my career. And that's just where I was at that time. Not saying like that's where I am now, or if that's the decision that I would make now. But at the time, that's the decision that made the most sense to me, because I'll be honest, I was afraid. And, you know, you see what happens when women come forward with accusations. Oh, she's a liar. Yeah. She's this, she's that. And this is someone that was like, I don't think that they would have had the power to end my career. I don't think that. But I think it would have been enough that I don't think it would have been good for my mental health to have to defend my reputation in my own city and in a circle where I make music and I should feel comfortable and I should be safe no matter where I go. That wasn't something that at that time I felt like I could do. And that's just being honest, you know. And sometimes we have to have grace for people. Was that the right thing to do? Technically, probably not. Probably the right thing would have been to name them or go to the police and do those things. But we have to have grace for, sometimes we're just not strong enough to do that. And at that moment, survival is more important. And I knew that my career was just starting because, like I said, this is before Late Bloomer. So I didn't have the opportunities that I have now. I didn't have like kind of the recognition and the love from the city that I do now. So I was in a completely different position and I was not willing to gamble that. And, you know, sometimes when people say, oh, why did they come out so much later? Or, you know, it's fear. And I'm talking about a local nigga. Never mind someone that went through this, right, that has real power. This person had more power in my mind. So imagine going against someone that actually has real power, that really can destroy your career. People have to make those choices every day. That's the choice that I decided to make. And like I said, would I do that now? Probably not. But when I wrote that song, that's why that song was so hard for me. And it's always been hard for me. But I know that, I don't know if they've ever heard that song, but I hope that they have. Because then there's something like you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's something that will touch them, or maybe, you know, make them want to make different decisions in the future. I don't know.
Let them know how you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just did what I thought was best for myself and my survival at that time.
And that must be crazy to even like just be performing that, because there's all that emotion going into that fucking one song. So
Absolutely. And then like before that, it's like used to be a good girl, now I'm a mean bitch, you know, because that's what I do.
But it makes
We go on emotional roller coasters when you come on my show my shows. So I think it's definitely, you know,
I love that.
part of who I am as a person, I feel like, which is like, we're going to have the highs where we're going to dance and we're going to have a good time and we're going to love in each other and be community. But then we're going to have those times where we're going to cry a little bit. And maybe, you know what I'm saying? That's going to make you reach out to someone that you didn't know there. Make a new friend. We're going to bond. We're going to comfort each other. And then, you know what? We're going to get hype again. Like, I literally intentionally structure my shows like that. And a lot of my albums end up getting structured like that because I feel like that's just who I am as a person.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because we went to your listening launch for
I didn't go, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But
No,
I'll go
that's
to the next one, I
okay.
promise.
yeah.
Listen, the album is out on the 20th, so you don't even have to wait that long.
A couple days.
April
go.
20th.
I'm gonna download it.
420, baby. Ooh.
I had to. Like, my last name is Blaze. How could I not drop an album
Yeah,
on
right.
420?
It's so true. It's sorry to go back into the deep thing, but like the last thing we were talking about was like verbal abuse, and even though you think that you're not hitting me, that's still not okay. I was wondering if you can talk to me more about that and how that kind of like influenced like the songs you were making in the album.
Sure. So the story of the album is super interesting and slightly creepy. I'll just tell you that up front.
Ooh.
That the story is it gets a
I'm
little
here
creepy.
for it.
Okay, y'all like
I'm
spooky
here
stories?
for
Okay,
it.
cool. Except it's spooky because it's my life. So keep that in mind.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Some of us been through the same.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah.
please also remember that this is actually my fucking life. No, so in 2020, I applied for the lab grant, which is the Live Arts Boston grant with the Boston Foundation. So they
Shout out to
give,
them.
yes, love the Boston Foundation, and I was really grateful for that. So if you guys don't know, it's a grant that's given to performing artists. So you could be music, it could be theater. They've done like a wide dance. It could be like literally anything, as long as there's a performance aspect to it. Then they will fund you. But it's a very tough process, very long process. So it's not easy to get. I was very blessed. I got it my second time trying. So I was very lucky. But I had pitched in my mind, it was a fictional like concept album. So it had like a storyline that was completely fictional. It was giving telenovela, like the way that it ended, it was kind of like you didn't know like if the main character killed her husband or not. It was a whole thing. It was lit, right? So I was like, yeah, because this is also maybe 2 months after Late Bloomer came out that I had to submit the application for the lab grant. It was very much like right after. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't even have like a concept for an album. I created this and then it got funded. So I said, oh, okay, now we're doing it. But also it's COVID. So it's way more difficult to do this now. But as I started to write the songs for the album, I realized that these were not fictional songs. These were songs about how I was actually feeling and things that I was actually going through in that moment. So the structure of the album stayed the same. Like the concept and the storyline of it, I didn't kill anybody. Like, pause. I did not kill anybody. My stepfather is a funeral director, though. But nah, I didn't kill anybody. In case you want to try it, no. But
Jesu.
I be scared of people. I scare men when I say that. But I realized that the album was not a fictional story anymore. It was literally the story of my life over the past 3 years in that relationship that I was in. So it became really creepy how my life ended up mirroring this album that I thought was going to be like a fictional story.
Yeah.
But these things started like happening to me like as I was writing the album. And that's just like, be careful what you put in the universe.
Like manifestation.
Yes, because I had the concept, but I didn't really kind of know where the songs were gonna go. Like I had like a very, very loose outline of what it was going to be and what songs should be about what. Like I knew that part of it, but I wasn't writing the songs from like the fictional character standpoint. I was writing the songs from my standpoint, and that's when it became really clear that like, no, this is not a fictional story album anymore. This is actually super personal. And then that became a whole thing because I'm like, do I want people to know that much about me? I'm very private. So that was something I struggled with too, but I'm very, very proud of it. And it's already coming out, so I can't do nothing about it now. Like, y'all just gonna know my business.
Dive into that too. Like as an artist, like how do you decide, or how do you even get past things that you want people to know about you and what you put into your music because it makes it more meaningful? I'm just wondering how that dynamic works.
It's difficult. It's very difficult. I think kind of in my mind, Brandie Blaze used to be like their own entity, like kind of like a Sasha Fierce, where I was like, okay, Brandie Blaze is this woman that I kind of aspire to be and wish I was more like that. But now as I get older, I realize that that's actually me. It's just that some people bring that out of me in a very negative way. And now that I'm older, I just control it better. Yo, okay? Because listen, it could... Right, but now that I'm older, it's much more controlled in a very different way. And I don't look at Brandie Blaze like that. I look at myself as Brandie Blaze. Like probably when I dropped Late Bloomer, you definitely would have got a completely different answer because I did a song called Brandie. Brandie is actually my name. People think it's a stage name, but that is my name. But my government name is spelled different. So the name of the song was like the way that my government name is spelled and the way that my stage name was spelled. And it was about kind of like having those two sides where people, you know, get really invested in Brandie Blaze, but are they also invested in me as a person, as Brandie? You know what I mean? So...
And are they?
I know which people are. You know, there's people that are going to be like, they see a potential wave, and they're going to try to snatch on that. I know who really vibes with me and who really loves me, like most, you know what I mean? And, you know, no, all of y'all, and like, I have a lot of people in the city that genuinely support me and genuinely love me, so I don't worry about things like that. But it became hard when like kind of my persona is known to be like big, bad Brandie Blaze, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna like kick men in the back down the stairs, you know what I mean? Like,
Not a bad idea.
right? But that's what people know me for, you know what I mean? Like, men being objectified and scared and turned on at my shows, like, that's what we go for, right? So to kind of have that reputation and be known for those type of songs, it's very hard to be like, no, actually,
I'm a little vulnerable.
I'm very sensitive. I'm sensitive as hell. I'm soft as hell. I'm a literal cupcake. It's just when you bring Brandie Blaze out of me, you messed up. You did something.
Then you're kicking that nigga down the stairs.
Right. Listen. And then if you end up, you know what I'm saying, at my stepfather's funeral home, I don't know what happened. I have to stop saying that. He's going to kill me.
Wait, stepdad who? I don't know.
Give it a business.
Right? Like, listen, it's in Westchester, New York, so, you know. You want to take a trip down 95? No, let me start. Yo, listen, no, that's why I be like, my exes know, you get on 95, you start going too far down south, it'd be like, where we going?
Putting you to rest.
Like, we stopping in Connecticut, right? Why are we going into New York? You know?
Oh man! Oh my gosh! Wait, hold up. So speaking of, right? So when we went to the listening lodge, when we went to the listening lodge to listen to Broken Rainbows, right? One of the people that we saw was your mother, and I honestly love the relationship you have with your mother because like sometimes I'd be wishing like as an African, you know, my mother, she doesn't like hip hop like that. I mean, she like Biggie. You know, Africans, they love Biggie, but it's like, you know, like, but like. I want you to like talk about like the relationship like with your mother. Like, how does she feel? Like, how did she react to some of the songs on your project?
She's my mom is just the best. Like, I'm an only child by blood. I do have siblings, but by blood, I'm an only child. So me and her, it was just always me and her growing up. And I know I've talked about this before about how like my mom raised me, where she was very strict on some things and completely liberal and just like, cool, do whatever on other things. And one of those things was music. I know we talked about that, but really quick, my mom never censored any music that I listened to as a kid. I could listen to literally anything. Like I was listening to Lil Kim in like junior high, and she was like, cool. Like
my mom.
But my mom was strict. But my mom was strict though, because I had the earliest curfew, but I lived the furthest away from my friends. I moved to Hyde Park by the time I was in high school. So I was in Hyde Park off Cummins Highway in the boonies, and all my friends lived in Dorchester or Roxbury, and I went to high school in Roxbury. So she was strict, and she was like, yeah, and your curfew is still 9:00. Everybody out running the streets till 10:30. She was like, yep. So I'm like at Forest Hills at like at like 8:45. Like, I gotta get home. This is trash. And it's like I don't even think I had a cell phone then, so it's just like and you're on the mercy of the 30. So I just be like, at first I was like, this some bullshit. No. But she was very strict in some ways. Like I got my nose pierced at 16, but I had to get honor roll to get my nose pierced. Like that was the type of parent she was. And she was also just like very involved. She didn't want me to be spoiled by material things, and we was poor anyway, so but she was one of those parents. I didn't realize we were poor until I was much older, but she wanted to spoil me with experiences. And if the experience was not there, if the opportunity wasn't there, she created it for me. So like she was my I was a Girl Scout. She was a troop leader.
You were a Girl Scout?
Yeah.
Like cookies and shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
I ain't got the plug no more, but No, I do.
Wait,
Hit me later. I got the cookie plug if y'all want it. I got it.
Okay.
No, you got the cookie plug for life. No. I was a cheerleader. She was the coach. I was a cheerleader for the Hyde Park Cowboys.
Hey.
Yeah, and she was the coach, and I did pageants for a hot second, and she made the dresses. Even to this day, my mom does my hair, and she styles me. So she usually picks the outfits that I wear, especially to shows and things. Are usually pieces that she picked for me, or for Boston Calling, she's making it. So sometimes I could get her to bust out the sewing machine. She said that Boston Calling was important enough that she's making the outfit. So I guess I was like, okay, I see what level I got to be at. Yeah. She's not making me nothing else until I get to the Grammys. But
that level of sport's crazy.
Manifestation, baby.
Right. No, but she's just... I think it's funny when people are always kind of like, what does your mom think about your music? And then I'd be like, she's right there in the front and she knows all the words. She'd be like, nigga, what you thought? She was singing right with you? Yo, no, she knows who she raised. Also, my mother is a veteran. So I feel like that's just a whole... My father is too. They met in the Air Force. So... Oh. Like, I feel like that gives you like a whole different vibe. Yeah, right. And they have told me stories from back in the 80s of being in the Air Force. It was rocket. But yeah, it just kind of gives you, I feel like, a whole different vibe. And my mom had been through a lot of things herself. And I think for me, she just set out to be like, I know what type of mom I want to be to her. And I want her to have maybe what I didn't or what I couldn't have as a kid. She wanted to make sure that I did have it. So even though we didn't have much, I was still able to do anything, literally anything. If I wanted to try it, my mom was down for it. So now, like I said, as an adult, sometimes people be like, why isn't your mom your manager? She said, hell no. So like, please stop asking me if my mom is going to be my manager because she said no. I'm just saying she did. But she's just kind of like, I make the outfits, I do the hair. My mom went to beauty school. So that's like her thing. Like she learned how to do my hair, my locks from watching YouTube. Like that's the type of person she is. Like she'll be like, if I say, yo, I want my hair like this, or like, I think I want this outfit. She's that type that she was like, yo, like she's so cute. Like she basically started social media so that she could join like some of the groups. Like she's in like these plus size fashion groups and like plus size like dressmaker groups on Facebook. And I always tell her, I was like, don't let nobody in them groups get too brolic, because people know that I am semi a troll online. If you follow me on social media, I am halfway a troll. So I'll be like, don't let the memas get too crazy in the sewing group because I will pull up in the sewing group and rash everybody, and we're both going to be in Facebook jail. No. But she's just always just been like that with me. Like, my mom's the oldest of 5. She always was just happy with just having me. Mm-hmm. I didn't want any siblings, so it worked out for us. And
but
yeah.
But I like that situation because it's like, that's how you know your mom just genuinely supports you. If she doesn't even want to be a manager, she doesn't even want to you don't want to get messy with money. Money changes relationships. She's just there to support you all the time. She's coming to your listening parties. She hears the little words you say, and she's just there just to support you. And I definitely think when people like become your managers, like that becomes fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have you be my fan than my manager.
Yeah, I do not have a manager right now. It's been beyond time that I should have had one.
Is this a casting call?
I don't know.
We need a manager.
Okay, I wasn't even going to say that. What I was going to say is that I suck as a client. Because
Let's go.
I am a Virgo and an only child.
Stargazer. Let's go.
Don't blame
And a
me,
spoiled
Star.
brat. So it's not that
Rotten
I'm
spoiled.
difficult. It's that I have control issues. So I definitely need a manager. It's been beyond time. Like, I have incredible people on my team that work with me and handle a lot of things, but I do need that person that's like the head of the dragon, so to say, because I get really busy and sometimes I can't handle. I already can't handle the day to day of like Brandie Blaze. Like I struggle. I do my best, but I have control issues, like for real. That's why I'm a solo artist, and because there's nothing for me to be like, oh, we gotta compromise on that song. No, it's my song. And we do what I want. No. I don't know if I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready to give up control. My team does not think I am. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, it's the casting call, but the casting call is like, here's the best and worst client you will ever have. Like, I'll make you cookies and then also like cry at you at 3 a.m. because I'm anxious. So like, is that what you want? Like, but at least I would make you like a cake or something and then cry at you.
Right. It's a variety to that.
Right. Like, it's not just all crying the whole time.
You don't identify yourself as an introvert, do you?
I am.
Don't say it.
No,
Ambivert.
I'm an extroverted introvert. Yeah, for sure.
So you're an ambivert. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I have definitely my social battery has a life limit, and once the battery is done, I leave. Like, and that's it for the end of the day. Like, I really value solitude. And quiet. Like I said, once again, just comes from being an only child too, where you're just kind of used to like being alone. Like, I think that was like my favorite thing about being an only child was that I got to have the sibling experience because I had cousins, and my mom's best friend had 4 kids and we're all around the same age. So like me and like her third oldest are like 3 weeks apart. So we were like, I'm considered like one of the kids, both ways. Like, so I had the sibling experience, but the best part was that I got to have it and then they got to go home. It wasn't permanent. Like, you live here, like when you never go home.
It's like, haha. Okay, I had fun. You can leave now.
No, for real. And like, even to this day, Amanda Shea will tell you to this day, I don't like people in my house. And it's not because there's certain people I will invite to my house. It's not, I get weird about my house. Like, the main reason I don't like people in my house is because then I have to have that awkward conversation about, okay, I'm done. You need to get the fuck out. Yeah. Like, when I go to you, I could just be like, hey, that's it. Yawn, stretch. And I'm in the car on the way home. Like, we don't have to have that conversation. I can just be like, I'm done for the night. And I could go home. I don't have to worry about kicking people out. So, yeah, I'm one of those people. I can socialize to a point. And then when I am done, I am done. That's it. There's no going back or someone's getting cussed out. Like, I have to leave.
Right. That makes sense. Especially when I'm in the house, right, with my shorty's over and she's staying the night, and when I have friends over there, she would just give me that look like, I'm like, all right, you guys gotta get the fuck out.
Get him out of here.
And the crazy part is like I'm like that even in relationships. Like I won't even have people that I date in my house.
Oh shit.
Like you can come by and see where I live, but like why do you need to be here?
That's a good one. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, because
Like, you know
no,
what?
for real. Because I'd be
I live
like,
down the street and around the corner.
if you have an apartment, right? And you know, it's Boston. Not everybody has a car. I live outside the city now, but I've always had a car. Even when I lived in Boston, I've always had a car. So I'm like, I could get to you, no problem. So why do you need to come here? There's no need for you to come here. When I drive and I could just come to you, and then when, like I said, when the social battery dies, then I could be like, that was amazing. Like I'm one of those people that like if I spend the night at your house, like friends or dating, I'm probably, if I stayed the whole night, I'm definitely out by like 7:30 in the morning. Because I have to go, like I was one of those kids, no joke, and my mom will say this is on my mama. There have been times I have called her from sleepovers. Like 12, like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I said, this ain't it. And she'd be like, okay, bet. I'm coming to get you because my mom didn't play that. If I ever felt uncomfortable, she didn't care what time I called. I could call her. I could call my mama right now. And if I was like, yo, it's a situation.
Get me from this podcast.
Yeah, listen. And Mama Blaze will be right there. And she from Roxbury, so she not playing with y'all. Like, she gonna be like, you gonna bring me back to Roxbury? It's popping. What's wrong with y'all? No.
She gonna get a mic though.
But she was like that. Like, you know, she would never leave me anywhere uncomfortable. I think that's probably where it comes from too, where I was just kind of raised like that, where I knew I could call my mother no matter where I was, no matter what time it was. I knew that she would answer the phone and I knew that she would come get me. No questions asked. Like I never had to worry about being in trouble. I think that's probably part of where it comes from. Like having that freedom to be like, I can leave. I don't have to worry about getting you out. Because getting you out, and especially, you know, sometimes things go bad, go sour, and then it becomes a whole production. And I live in Newton now, so I don't need these white folks all in my business. Like, I had to be like, I'm dragging somebody down the stairs. I live on the 3rd floor, like, and we're the only black family in the vicinity. So I really be trying to be low key.
On that note, we're gonna take a small break and we'll be right back.
Ooh.